Good morning, my YouTubers. How are you guys? Today I'm going to talk to you guys about my favorite archangel. That is Michael. Michael is my favorite archangel. And this is, I went ahead and I purchased a print. And then I put it over a black sheet of paper. And I bought a frame for it at Hobby Lobby, and I really like the way it looks. And underneath I have my Jesus Christ that I painted. And right now I finished painting this angel. I have a harp. My husband bought me a harp. That's the black thing right next to it. And I want to learn how to play the harp so I can do music for my meditation. So anyway, that's what I have right there. And I have it facing the opposite of my bed, so that way I'm always looking at Archangel Michael. He is one of my favorites. And there's an angel my brother-in-law bought me for my birthday. It's from a company called Toscano, Toscano. And they sell a lot of angel statues, and he bought me that one. It's supposed to go outside, and I wanted to put it outside right by my garden. But then I didn't want it to get messy, so I decided to keep it in my room. And so therefore, that's why I have it here. I was very happy he bought me that. Anyway, we're going to be talking about Archangel Michael. And right in front of him, I have another Archangel Michael. This is another statue, and I can never get enough of statues. There it is. And I have a rose quartz. I have satellite, and I have a blue calcite, and I have a lapis lazuli. Lapis lazuli or lazuli is Archangel Michael's crystal because it's blue. So the color of Archangel Michael is blue. And right here, this angel is Jophiel. If I'm not, no, it's not Jophiel. It's another archangel. I forgot what his name is. I'll have to figure out who it is. My son brought him for my birthday. That's how I get my statues. I have to wait for my birthday, or I have to wait for Christmas to get my things. Anyway, so I have blue for Michael, lapis lazuli, and my little chimes to do my meditations, and of course Jesus and Michael. So I'm going to give you a little bit of information about Michael, and then we'll do a little meditation, okay? And I'm also going to share, I told you guys on my last video that I had photos of where I've caught things. I'm going to show you guys a photo of what I saw once I took a picture when I was healing my cat. And that was like, I wasn't expecting to see what I saw, but it was there. So let's talk about Archangel Michael. Hi, my YouTubers. So we're back, and this is the magazine that I was telling you about. Well, this one's called Basil Street Gallery, but this is, it's also designed Toscano. I don't know if it's the same company and they just issue different magazines, but this is what it looks like. So this is what the magazine is, and I'm not at all affiliated with, but you know that once you invite angels in your life, or if you're a if you believe in angels, or just because you like angels, you'll want to basically surround yourself with angels, and that's what I do. I love surrounding myself with angels, and they have beautiful statues in here. That's why I have to wait for my birthday, because they're usually like $150. So I have to wait for me to get the statues. Anyway, so today I told you guys we're going to be talking about my favorite archangel. My favorite archangel is Michael. Growing up, when I was younger, and I had a very horrific experience when I was 7. I'll let you guys know what happened. I think I was like 7. You know, it's weird that I didn't speak English, but the ghost that was communicating with me was speaking to me in English, and I knew what he was saying. Therefore, there goes the thing about it doesn't matter what language the entity or the spirit or whatever is communicating with you, because it all makes sense in your brain, because everything's energy. So you might have a spirit come to you that only spoke Spanish and you only speak English, but the energy they're transmitting to you, you'll understand what it is. Doesn't matter the language, because it's the energy they're sending to you. So when I was young, I was always scared. I was always sensing spirits, I guess. Now that I'm an adult, I know what was going on with me. And so I was asleep, and it was my 3 sisters, well, it was 3 of us. And because I was the scaredy cat, I always slept in the middle. So it was me, my sister Margie, my older sister, and my sister Rose. And I got up in the middle of the night so I can go use the restroom and get something to drink. And I came back to bed. And as soon as I laid in the bed, I started hearing like this up against the headboard. Somebody strumming their fingers like that. And so I thought it was my sister Rose, who's a big jokester, and I thought she was trying to scare me. And I told her to stop. You know, I turned around and I said, stop, I know what you're trying to do. And it still kept going. And I'm like, stop. You know, I know you're trying to scare me. Rose, stop. And all of a sudden, the atmosphere changed in the room. It got very intense. I want to say cold. And with the most horrific voice, the spirit started asking me if I knew who they were. It kept going, do you know who I am? But picture a demonic voice. For those of you who may have seen The Exorcist and how she talks when she's possessed. Well, yeah, like that. You know, it's like See, I scared my dog. They're inside. Okay, stop. Stop. I scared them. You see? It's even scary for the dogs. Anyway, so that really scared me. And because the atmosphere changed, I froze, and I could feel this weight on me where I couldn't move. And so I couldn't move, and I was really scared, and I said, it's gonna get me, whatever it is. And it kept asking me very patiently, that horrifying voice, if I knew who it was. And I said, I'm going to pinch my sister. Little by little, I'm going to move my hand till I pinch Rose. Well, it kept asking me, and right before it told me who it was like, I pinched my sister, who I thought was Rose, but I ended up pinching my sister Margie. And of course, my sister Margie just totally, everything I did irritated her. So when she turned around, as soon as I pinched her, I must have pinched her good with this fear I had. I pinched her, she turned around and smacked me on my face, and I started crying. And when I was a little girl, when I cried, I wanted the whole world to know I was crying. Plus she hit me in my face. That hurt really bad. And I was like, crying. My mom and my dad walk in the room, and they're like, what's going on, what happened? And I was like, the devil was in my room, because who else am I going to associate it with? And I was like, oh my God. And I couldn't see, also, I forgot to tell you, I could see something over my sister's stomach, and something dark. Even though it was dark, it was sort of like a black mass. And I was like, oh my God, and he was trying to get me. It was the devil, and he was asking me if I knew who he was, and you know, and that forever marked me whenever I would see spirits, and when I would see them, even though they would just be like in my room watching me, just looking, no emotion, just looking. I always thought it was going to turn into that. So that's the reason I asked God to, when I was a teenager, because for some reason when I turned 16 and 17, they were all over the place. And I think I told my daughter, you and my son came to visit me when I was a teenager. And because now that I see what the children look like, it was you too. And that happens. Your children are around you, your grandchildren, your nieces and nephews will come and visit you. And I said, I don't want to see anymore. It is frightening to me. It always made me think the same thing was going to happen. And I had no guidance. I had an aunt who, rest in peace, was a psychic. And she told me, well, when you see the spirits, just leave a pencil and a glass of water and ask them what they want. And I'm like, I don't think so. I'm scared out of my wits here. You want me to ask them what they want? No. And so anyway, I said, I was talking to a teacher for some reason. My teacher was a reverend or something in high school, my speech teacher. And we were talking about ghosts one day for Halloween. That was our speech. We all had to tell a ghost story. And I told him what happened to me. And he said, sounds like the devil's trying to get you. And you need to ask God to not let you see what you see anymore. Because everything you're seeing is the devil. Which reminds me of the water boy, you know. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, is that what it is? Oh, I'm so scared. And so I was like, please, please don't let me see. I don't want to see anymore. Well, you know, I don't see the spirits anymore, but I do feel them. And sometimes I would rather see them than to feel them because it becomes too overwhelming for me. Excuse me. Anyway, so that always scared me so much. But once I started getting into angels, I happened to order one of my books, and it was, I think, called Angel Energy, something to that effect. And I think John Rudolph wrote it, and that was my first introduction to angels. It was liberating. I loved that book. I did all the prayers it told me to do, and I was no longer afraid. Now, you do know that, yes, you don't have to be psychic. You don't have to be a medium to talk to your angels, because God loved you so much, our Creator, that He gave everyone an angel. We all have our own angel. Now, as we know, our angels cannot intervene in our life due to the free will God gave us. There we go. One thing again, God loves us so much He gave us free will to decide how to live our lives. So the only reason, and the only time they can impede your angels is if something that is life-threatening to you, where you might cross over sooner than you need to, then your angel will intervene. Other than that, unless you ask. Be as specific as you can when you ask with your angels. And always thank them, because they work very, very hard. You know, which reminds me, my son, my daughter, she's very open to this. Of course, she's always seen angels since she was a little girl. And my son, who has seen angels, still thinks about there's always an explanation for everything. Even though he knows he's seen the angels and they've appeared to him, he's like, yeah, but you can't just leave everything to God. And you can't just leave everything to your angels. I mean, I see his point of view. You got to work for things. But it's nice that you have someone that helps you on the side. And when my daughter was talking to his angel, she felt the sadness his angel had because my son doesn't talk to his angel. She like literally started bawling, and she was so emotional, and I had to like calm her down. And so it just makes me sad that there's a lot of angels out there who work so hard to help people, and who always, they do help you, but it's up to us whether we choose to acknowledge what we hear and or feel. It's up to us whether we choose like oh, maybe I shouldn't turn here. Oh well, you know what? I'm going. I'm still turning. So, it just, I just had to say that I just wish so many people were so open to their angels, and they work so hard for us, and it just saddens me, you know, because I had read this in a book, because when you love angels, you read, even though you know how to talk to your angels, you still love to read more and more about angels, and more about what other people experience, and all that. So it just, you're thirsty, you never get enough. And if you're like me, your house probably looks like a cemetery inside with angels. I'm happy as can be. Anyway, so you know, my horrible experience with everything. So then I learned about, I had seen Archangel Michael pictures, but nobody had ever told me about Archangel Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, Raphael, and there are so many angels out there. And no, you know, there was a story one time that my grandmother told me, if you're ever scared, just picture angels all around you, and the angels will be there to protect you. And she told me the story about this little old lady where she was so old, these guys were thinking about breaking into her house, and she called upon the angels, and when the people looked in and they were going to break in her house, they saw these men around her, and so they left and didn't break into her home. But it was the angels. And forever, I always like, wow, you know, I like totally pictured it in my head when she would tell me that. So she would always be, so when you're scared, ask your angels. That's all I knew. And the angel of God, my loving dear, to whom's God love and guide me near, you know, the prayer. I might be saying it wrong. I know it in Spanish. So that's all I knew. And so once I heard about Archangel Michael, my fear went away. I mean, I still protect myself. That's the first thing I ever do, because I don't want to let anything that's lingering out there to see an open, a little opportunity to come in. So always protect yourself. So who is Michael? Michael is one who is like God. That's what his name means. A lot of people don't realize, but Michael was one of angel's first healing angels. He was a healer, a doctor of medicine, if you kind of want to say that. But he took the role of the protector, the angel who basically cast Satan and his angels from hell in the Great War. And they say all his legions of angels chanted his name, Michael, Michael, Michael. And so he's the one that took the dragon and cast him to hell, you know, in the Great War. And so you can call on Michael whenever you need any protection. You know, when you work in places where so hostile, and you know, I used to work at a school, and I've never really seen such, God, I've worked in so many places where you have to do sales, places where you're the waitress, and whoever, you know, if you don't get that customer, you don't get the tip. I mean, those things were a walk in the park compared to working with some teachers and some staff. And what I used to always do is, oh, please, Archangel Michael, please protect me. Keep the negative people away from me. And I would picture a pink energy and a pink bubble around me. So that way, love, you know, there's love around. And I would ask Archangel Michael to protect me and shield me from the negativity of people, because, you know, I don't like being rude to people, but I'm like, how do I keep these people away from me? And trust me, it works. You ask Archangel Michael and his legions of angels to protect you and keep negativity away from you. You could also ask Archangel Michael to keep negative influences from the one you love away from them. So you can, you know, of course, God's always number one, our creator, the source, the light, the divine, whatever you would like to call our creator. And pray to keep those negative influences or the negative people, the negative energy away. Also picture your car being cocooned. Picture your home being cocooned. Call and have faith. Before you know, if you're ever scared, call him, say, please, Archangel Michael, be here now. And he is there. And thank him. So whenever you need protection, whenever you need strength, because that's what Michael is, he's also strength. That's why you see him in his armor. And of course his sword takes away all the negativity, right? Away. And his wings, some people say they're green, emerald green. One thing I love when I hear the story is his wings, no, it was his wings have like thousands of mouths, so that way, you know, that speak all the languages. And I have it written down. I was trying to go by memory, but I don't want to give you guys some wrong information. So let's see, Archangel Michael. Michael, he's my man. Michael, he's the man. It's always so easy for me with Michael. Oh, here we go. Okay, his wings are emerald green, and they are covered with saffron hairs. The saffron hairs have 1,000,000 faces, and they speak 1,000,000 dialects. It is said that the cherubim came from Michael's tears, and these are the tears that he shed from the sins of the faithful. So, and the dialects, you know, so that way you can understand all the dialects from everybody, but everything's energy, so it automatically is, you know, understood. So, and you sometimes see him depicted with a blue armor, and the scales of justice, you know, weighing justice, the good and the bad. And that's why sometimes you see him that way. But he's also the patron of the police officers. And now, when, I don't know if you know this, but my husband retired from the military. He went to Iraq a few times when we had the war. And when he was getting ready to go for his third one, I think, he came back with heart problems, and like a lot of our soldiers come back with something wrong, so he wasn't able to go. They were getting ready to go, and they're like, you know, there's something wrong with you. So that's why he had to retire early. And so anyway, my husband, he was stationed, I think, in Camp Victoria in like 2005, 2006. He was the unit that he was stationed in Korea, and then they went directly from Korea to Iraq. So there was a time where he was gone for like 2 years, where I didn't get to see him. And so they went from Korea to Iraq, and I think they were really near Fallujah. They were right there, and it was when it was really, really bad. And so I was so scared, and I said, please God, you know, I ask of you, Archangel Michael, I ask that you protect my husband while he's in Iraq. I ask that you protect his soldiers. I ask that you protect all the soldiers that are in Iraq, wherever they are. Please protect them and cocoon them and bring them back to their families. This I ask of you. And so that night, when I went to sleep, I had a dream. And I think it was like my angels and God telling me everything's going to be fine. I don't know why I'm getting emotional.
but everything's gonna be fine. And so I'm dreaming that I'm an adult, but my kids are little. They were about the same age, because I think my son was about, he left in 2005, so it was like about 13. And so it's me, my husband, and both my kids, and we're in front of my elementary school in El Paso, and I'm in Lancaster Elementary School, and I'm standing and we're looking up, and as I look up, I see millions and millions and millions of cherubim, and with the trumpets like Gabriel, and they're like flying that fast, like, right, and they're flying, and I'm like, oh my god, look, oh my god, you can even see the blue of the sky. That's how congested the sky was, and they were like, so, and I became so overwhelmed. I love angels, but it scared me. I was like, oh my god, look at all these angels, oh my god. And I told my sister, and I said, I think it was God showing me, or I got to see a glimpse of the angels going to protect everybody, everybody's prayers, requests being, you know, the angels are like going, and that made me feel better. And there was my husband got hit twice by a suicide bomber, 2 different times by suicide bombers. And then one time they got hit by insurgents, and everybody always made it. Some of them got hurt, but they lived. And I always asked Archangel Michael to protect them and cocoon them, and I always said, everybody that's at war, protect all of them, because I felt deep down that, you know, I can't be selfish. All these men and women are in this war, and we have to pray for all of them. And there was one time where my husband, they were guarding, because they were patrolling the street, and he said he saw a car passing. There's cars that pass. He saw a car pass. He just sees it pass, and he said he was a tank commander, so he said he never stood up. He said he always, when he peeked his head out from the tank, he always peeked it out like this, because a lot of them would, you know, get decapitated and stuff. So he always would be like this. And next thing they know, they get hit by something in the back, right? And it went off. And one of his guys got his ear burnt. My husband got very mild burns to his face. Everything was really mild to what could have happened to them. And can you believe that the military said they wouldn't give my husband a Purple Heart because he wasn't wearing his goggles? Can you believe that? I'm like, that's ridiculous. My husband's like, I couldn't see behind the sugar. If I had my goggles, I wouldn't be able to see with that. It's like powdered sugar, sand. I had to take off my goggles to see. So they told him, we can't give you a Purple Heart because you didn't follow regulations and you didn't have your goggles. So anyway, he's like, I'm better off alive than having a purple medal. So anyway, a Purple Heart. And that happened to him one time. And another time, they were patrolling the streets again, and out of nowhere, this car comes and hits them. And my husband just felt a boom. And they moved. And as soon as they moved, the car exploded. And so I told my husband, you cannot tell me there's no such thing as miracles when these things have happened to you. I refuse to believe that you weren't guarded. You and your military soldiers weren't guarded. And you know, when another time they were changing tracks, and the tank tracks, some kind of tracks, he was telling me, his soldier didn't have any leave, meaning he couldn't come home for vacation. And I was like, how can he be in Fallujah for 15 months and not go home? That just makes no sense to me. But when they got hit, when they were changing the tracks, these insurgents shot at them. They didn't know where. Well, the guy got hit in his abdomen, and it came out through the back. And he ended up going to Germany, and then from Germany he came to the United States, and he had like 4 months. And I'm like, I'm glad he's alive, and at least he got to be away from that, because I don't understand how people would be able to do 15 months without coming home. I know there's a lot of soldiers who've been there even longer. So to our soldiers, so whatever you can do for your soldiers, do it, and everybody who does something for them, thank you so much. It means a lot. So anyway, so I always asked Archangel Michael to protect them. I always did. And everything that happened to my husband, it just like made me believe even more. And I'm so blessed that my husband's here with me. So I'm really blessed, and I feel for those that lost their loved ones, because we've lost he lost a lot of friends and his roommate, and so it was just, it's horrible. And so thank you for those of you who support your troops. And I thank Michael. I'm just like, he was the one that I prayed to, and I'm so grateful that they were cocooned. And so you could always ask Archangel Michael to be there for your soldiers, and whatever you fear, to give you strength, to give you courage. Anything doing with justice, ask Michael to help you fight with you the justice. And I have several statues and paintings of Michael. And just talk to him, like I said, and always thank them for everything they do. I just wanted to talk to you guys about Michael. I told my husband, I'm going to be 41. I told my husband, I would love it if I could get an Angel Michael tattoo right here. So we're contemplating on that. We'll see if I get the Archangel Michael tattoo, because he's my favorite. I don't have any tattoos on me, but I wouldn't mind having him. And on my right side, because that's where Michael is, right? Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, and Raphael, and the divine light above us. So I just wanted to tell you guys about Michael and how he's the great protector. And whenever you're walking alone, call on Michael if you want protection. Now, I'm not saying go do irresponsible stuff and decide you're gonna put yourself in harm's way and say, well, I got Michael here on my side, so I'm fine here. We have to take responsibility for what we do. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about Michael and some of the experiences that I had. And I don't fear anything anymore. I used to fear, you would be surprised, I was a big scaredy cat, but Michael has really helped me be strong and given me a lot of strength. So you can always call on Michael. Oh yeah, Michael's also good with electronic stuff. If you're having problems with computers, anything electrical, ask Michael to help you figure out what the problem is. Or if you have it with a technician, ask Michael to guide the technician, things of that sort. Because God, yes, we have doctors, we have, unbeknown to people, like doctors, while they're performing surgeries, or a therapist, there's a spiritual team behind. So you can ask, please guide the people that I'm going to go see in helping me figure out what the problem is and things of that sort. So, alright, so I just wanted to talk to you guys about Michael. And I'll show you guys a picture that I did. I probably should show you the picture when I talk about Raphael, because it had to do with a healing session with my cat. I was healing my cat, doing energy healing. You basically take in the divine light from you, and you call upon the healing angels, Raphael being the healing angel. So, and you take in the deep breaths in, put yourself with the divine white light, and picture the divine white light going through you like blood on your veins and your arteries. And then you see the divine white light coming out, and wherever you feel, as you're putting your hands over an animal, I put mine like about from this much moved about that much away from my animals. And my cat's got diabetes. So wherever you feel, my daughter feels prickling, I feel like my hands want to stop there. So that's what I was doing. And I was sending healing energy to my cat, and you can literally see energy going into my cat. It's not his hairs. He's got a white stomach. And my daughter didn't move the camera and go like that, because if not, my hands would have also been jittery. And when I was seeing the picture, because I wanted to see, like, my sister said, why don't you take pictures? You'd be surprised what you might catch in there. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. And it was at night, and you can see like a white light at the window as I'm doing the healing. So I zoomed in on the light, and you can see a little face, like a little cherubim face on there. So I'm going to share that with you guys, and believe. Like I tell you guys, I don't care if people think I'm crazy. My son thinks
He's a left-brain
I'm crazy kid. So anyway, I want to thank you guys, and have faith in Michael, and I will post a Michael meditation. You guys take care. Bye.